Lila. When we're live, we're just joined by Lily there. Lily from Flamingo F. Yeah, she was just replying to my comment, but I was like, what did I even say? Do you ever get that where you're like, can't even remember what I said and then replied? I know exactly what you mean. It reminds me of the old school text messaging, you know, when you'd have to go out of your inbox into your sent. Oh my God. To see what you'd sent, to remember. It didn't just show up. I forgot that it wasn't even like that, like a, what do you call it, thread? Yeah, it's really weird. And then you get into that and then having to like email and stuff. Obviously, email now, you can kind of see what the last few messages are. Yeah. It can get really confusing. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I need the emails to look less confusing. There's so much like information before the messages in between. I like that, being able to swipe a message and reply to that message and swipe a message to reply to that message. I agree. WhatsApp, you are great. Very good. Who's in the chat? We've got Alexi and Melis. One day, I'm the worst getter of names. Evening, girls. How are we? Are we having a good week? Do you like our England appreciation headbands for the football? Did you watch the game? I did. Were you excited? Were you shouting? I was rather bored by it, I'll be honest. I didn't think it was the most exciting game. I thought that being against Serbia would absolutely thrash her and be all over them, and it might be a bit more like the Germany-Scotland result, but, you know. Turns out Serbians are kind of hard. Yeah. Maybe you were just although my brother sent me a very good stat, which was it's only the second time that we've won our opening game to the Euros. Okay. And something about that we've always gone through to somewhere along. But anyway, it was it reassured me. I was like, okay, we've still got hope. Well, I'm quite lucky in the fact that I can pick two teams. There's England and then there's Portugal. Oh yeah. Represent there. And then I don't know if you see what happened to them last night while you were dancing. No. They won, thankfully, 2-1, but to Czech Republic. But the one was the own goal. So technically they did score three times. God. But yeah, Ronaldo apparently just assisted with a tap-in on the Czech's team, so that's interesting. I think, go either way. I think that we should vote to wear these until England are well, for as long as England stay in the tournament, and let's hope that's right the way till July the 14th. So keep them on till they win. Yeah, we might be wearing them for a very long time. Permanently in life, just during the podcast. So, you know, I'm not going to manifest that. It's coming home. Can you tell I don't watch football? Oh, the chat's popping off. Hi, girls. Yes, Len, loving the background. Do you enjoy this? How cool is this? It is amazing. It means that my hair kind of flickers. Lindsay's got blonde hair, so it's less, I suppose on your right side there, I can see it's getting a bit, but you know, oh, yeah. The level we're at, I think it's doing all right. I think it's great. Ain't it? Love your headbands are so cute. Do you remember the Christmas ones? Yeah, it was giving me Christmas vibes when you were talking. I could see them wobbling. I was like smiling to myself. Well, that's bringing back memories. Still have them here. That's how organised our studio is. Look, everything's just on hand. They really do sway. Get them back out at Christmas again. Indeed. But Alexi said we've been waiting all day for this stream. Oh, that is so good to know. That makes me so happy. This is the first time I've stopped and sat down all day, so I've been waiting for this all day as well, just for that moment to be like. Lindsay's happy to be here, just having a chill. Yeah. Although I am going to make a public apology. Oh. I am sorry for having you before this stream started. And you know what? I can either be like, oh my God, I'm really embarrassed. Or I can use this as an opportunity to be like, yo, this is what the human brain does. This is what the neurodivergent brain does. Mine in particular, but you might relate. I got super stressed before the start of this, and my brain malfunctioned. It's happened on stream before, actually. My brain malfunctioned. And yeah, I was just like, I'm stressed. I don't like the way you're talking to me. And literally, as soon as Lindsay went, sorry, as if to be like, what on earth are you on about? So what's even going on? I'm like, she didn't even need to apologise there. And it made me feel horrible. It's like, it brought the mood down, it brought the like, but then I think it's interesting to think about, how do you get back on track with that? Because it is awkward, right? Yeah, well, I think the thing is though, we've both been busy. We'd got a lot to do, and then it was just that kind of like the pressure was on, wasn't it, to get it done before we started at 7. So, you know, we all know that ADHD doesn't tend to work well with pressure. So perhaps you just felt like I don't know, I was disappointed in you or something like that, and that's what upset you.
Do you know what? I think you're quite right. I get jealous because you are someone that can like ad lib, just like off the top of your head, roll with it. Whereas I work with a structure, and if I don't have that, then yeah, it is like a. Oh,
and that was there was definitely a misunderstanding there, because that's not what I was kind of getting at. I was just like,
we ain't got time.
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't even that. I was just like, don't worry about saying all that. We've just literally got to. But then obviously you felt like I was getting involved in your planning.
But yeah, I quite, I can sit and be like, oh my God, that's really awkward. Or I can be like, okay, this is a thing we can show, and be like, how do you fix that? Because I think there's many friendships I've had in the past and relationships that is the core problem. Where
It's like a misunderstanding.
It's just a misunderstanding.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just two different styles of working. I work well under deadlines and pressure, and like you say, ad libbing. I don't need to plan. I can just go. Like, I work much better being chucked in at the deep end.
Do you know what? To a certain extent, I am. I think I have to be on my own. I don't know. Depends what the situation is, I suppose.
That's the thing. It does depend on the situation, doesn't it? Whenever I've tried to quantify what is ADHD and what is my well-being, and what might you struggle with, and blah blah blah, make content. Yeah. I'm like, it's like this until it's like this, and then it's like this, and then it's like that. And I think that is what makes it so hard to deal with, is that something that one day you're okay with, the next day you're not. It's the opposite. And then if you are trying to maintain a friendship or a relationship with somebody that doesn't quite understand ADHD, they might be thinking, well, that weren't a problem yesterday, so why is it a problem today?
Exactly.
Our whole tribe, our little tribe that knock about together, we're all very ADHD and autistic. So none of us kind of hold each other with grudges or whatever, because we're just like, whatever. If it's not one of us having a meltdown, it's another one. It's just it's just the way it is.
Oh, that's actually so true.
It's so, everyone's not crazy on the same day, so the whole tribe can still work.
Find your meltdown crew. Yeah, it's kind of the opposite of periods, right? Where instead of aligning, so they all happen at once.
Yeah,
spaces them out.
I think in the past, though, I've had friends that have, well, I say friends because they weren't friends, but it takes you to get a bit older to realise this, that would make me feel like I was less than for certain reasons, or hold grudges for something I'd said or something I'd done. And that's not a friendship. A friendship is about forgiveness. And, and it's like, if you can't do that, fine, move on. Well, don't be friends then. Don't maintain the friendship and make them feel like unworthy, or like they're in your debt, or they need to be making it up to you all the time, because that's not a friendship in my eyes.
Oh, definitely. But I think it's really hard to get that perspective when you've constantly been told you're the problem, and constantly been told that you're the one that needs to stop being so lazy, make more effort, blah blah blah, whatever it is.
Well, that is the trauma and the damage that can be done, right? Like, through your younger years and stuff like that.
Amen.
I'm really loving the chat popping up between everybody. It's so nice to see that happening, because that again is what we're trying to build, is that community of people that kind of are just a little bit more tolerant because they've been there, or they're more accepting.
Tolerant, literally. Both Kat and Anna have texted me this weekend. Have I replied? No, I'm sorry, girls. But
and that's the thing, they're not going to fall out with you over it, because
no, but I love you and I don't deserve you.
But that's I think that if everybody in the friendship group feels like that, like, I don't know what I've done to deserve all these friends, then it keeps working. The minute somebody starts taking it for granted, or or throwing their weight around, then it doesn't work. I always see that, like, although friendships are hard work, they should be the least. There's so much things that need work in the world, and things are so hard in the world, that friendships should be the nice thing.
They really should be easy. And I don't know if as you get older, you just kind of realise what's drama, what's worth it, what's not, when you pick them off. Or maybe it's just whether your own maturity level rather than
I think
age thing.
Definitely maturity helps a lot, doesn't it?
And it says, Steph, as long as you know you're okay, it don't matter when you reply, oh, bless him.
I think, that is probably the main thing, isn't it? that if there isn't a reply, sometimes people worry about your mental health or whatever, and that's all it is that element of, are they okay?
And just like having that people that do care, you know, if you've got friends that don't have ADHD or whatever going on with them, or don't understand you necessarily, they don't really think, oh, is she okay? It is straight to, she's just ignoring me, F her.
Yeah, I think you're right there. You've definitely, if you suffer with mental health yourself, you've way more understanding of like what might be going on in somebody else's life.
Oh,
I
God.
think as you get older as well, you start to. I think people have an element of narcissism where the world revolves around them, and then as you get older, you start to realise that everybody has their own world, and that you just need to worry about your world and not assume that everybody cares about yours as much as you do. You know, your thing is your thing.
Definitely. I feel like some people still really do believe that when someone turns a corner, they just poof, don't exist anymore. Like,
Yeah.
it is just their reality and what's immediately in front of them. And I feel like I can be guilty of that very much myself sometimes.
Yeah, I can fall into that bubble of out of sight, out of mind.
Oh, yeah. And the longer it's been, they're like, oh, God, I've got no chance of ever getting back to that. Everyone's just saying hey to everyone in the chat.
I know, that's why it's really nice. It's what we've been trying to achieve, isn't it, with the whole platform?
Should we leave?
You don't need us anymore, guys. This is great.
That's really cool. But yeah, so England, they're playing again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Who are they playing?
God, why did I knew this before
Denmark.
we started and then I forgot, is it?
I don't know.
Promise to look quickly.
I do.
That sounds right.
It's
have
a look. I just searched Denmark.
Yeah, it is.
What's
Denmark.
that gonna do? Just tells me about
England, Denmark, 5 o'clock tomorrow. Be there or be square. I'm definitely not wearing these to the pub, else that's all my street credit gone.
Do you know what? I'm going to be running up behind you like, Lindzi, forgot you.
I'm like, oh no, we're leaving those in the podcast. No, to be fair, if we get through to the semis, then I'll definitely have them on my head.
Do we do a streaming, like,
watch
stream
party
along? Yeah. Obviously, we can't stream the BBC or whatever it will be showing on here, but if you get it on your own TV, then you can.
Well, I did want to do a pub road show because I feel like a lot of people that knock about in the pubs have got mental health issues, and they go to the pub to soothe them and to have a drink and all the rest of it, and it's like a kind of self-medicating thing. And then there's the whole male audience that I'd love to tap into, and when they've had a beer, they're a lot more likely to talk about their mental health problems. And I think it'd be great to just set up a stream in the corner of the pub, go around and introduce yourself, tell them what you're doing, then kind of allow them to come to you once they've had a few pints. Actually, you said earlier about that thing with voices in your head. That happens to me. You know, like that kind of vibe. Yeah. I think it'd really work well. The pub crawl podcast.
Oh God, definitely. It would be so immoral, but also that like the kitchen cocaine diaries. As much as I don't want to be a part of it, no offense.
Yeah.
I'm aware that it still goes on. Not everyone is saved, but I do want to get into that conversation as a sober person. Yeah. Just to be like, let me listen to you for a second.
Someone said to me recently, and it was like somebody, if it's someone in the chat, shout it out. It was a friend, and it was a conversation we were having recently, and they said, do you think that everybody that's struggling with alcohol and has got a bit of like, a tendency to need alcohol and have got take cocaine for like on a sociable, like quite often and stuff like that, do you think that they're all undiagnosed ADHD? I was like, yes, I do. Like, welcome to my thought process.
Yeah.
And they were like, it's heartbreaking, isn't it? Yes, it is heartbreaking. And this is why I set up the platform, because I wanted to share the information in a casual, informal way where people might actually listen and might actually realise, oh my God, that's me. I'm not a weirdo. There is something I can do about it. Everybody's different and how they manage will be different. But yes, I do think that, and I'm saying that from experience. I come from that background.
Exactly.
I am now a sober person. I don't preach or go on about it in terms of like, because what I'm doing is my journey.
Yeah.
But to see the people still carrying on with those cycles, and I was one of them before, it's like, it is heartbreaking. That's exactly the word.
Yeah, there's so many links, right? It's easier to see. I know a lot of people are, oh, well, it's depression. Okay, why are they depressed?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's
very
because
good
their anxiety. They've got social anxiety. Okay, why are they
Yeah. Or
socially
they don't feel
anxious?
good enough. Why don't they feel good enough?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it can't, it could be trauma, it could be all these multiple things. But I think a really core thing to look at is this idea of sensory seeking and sensory overload. We understand a lot about sensory overload, right? When it comes to autism or ADHD. We've talked loads about the foods that we don't put in our mouths and the sounds that we can't stand and like misophonia, stuff like that. But we very rarely think about the seeking of that, like, because it gives us this, an overwhelming sensation in a pleasant way.
And the acceptance seeking as well. Being part of a group and, feeling like you're one of the gang, and that you're okay to be yourself and that you're accepted. I think that plays a part in it as well.
Because when you have, chemicals is a really good one. You get that fake euphoric.
Yeah,
right? It's not real. You can feel like that in your real life, but it's the top moments, right? It's like when your baby's born, when you're saying I love you to the person that means the most to you, it's those really top moments. It's unrealistic to expect you just to be out with your mates at the pub and be like, I am the happiest I've ever been.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, I'm sure some people are very naturally very happy and that's brilliant, but it's just not sustainable. And I think there's a lot of people that kind of think, well, if I never take cocaine again, if I never take these uppers, then I'm never going to get that feeling.
Yeah.
The problem is, the more you take them, the harder it will be for you to get that natural happiness again, because the chemical that makes you happy, we're not just like coconuts here with coconut water.
Yeah,
We've got brain chemicals that make us feel the way that we do. And if we get rid of that happy chemical, our brains are like, I don't know how to make that real quick. You're going to have to give me some time.
I literally wrote last night that when I gave up drinking, I thought I'd be sacrificing so much, but it was only through giving up drinking that I realised I was sacrificing so much. I was like, the list is endless of the things that I was sacrificing. And as the months grew, my appreciation for so much other stuff has risen, and it's like, oh my word, like, I've not sacrificed anything by giving up alcohol, but what I was sacrificing before, I was completely blind to.
And that's that change of perspective, isn't it?
Hey Jake, shout out, he's in the chat. This is one of my lovely students that's always waiting for me in the classroom on a Monday and a Tuesday morning. We have a little catch up, and this week he says I am going to make it on Wednesday, and we set an alarm on his phone. So I'm so chuffed that you made it, dude.
Congratulations. We're proud of you. It's not just a thank you, we're proud of you.
Yeah. And I said to him, because he says, but when my alarm goes off, I won't know why it's going off. So I showed him how to change the subject of your alarm. I said, welcome to how I organise my life. If there's something I need to remember, I set an alarm, name the alarm.
I have about 50 alarms, all with really ridiculous, like, have a bath.
Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, you're going to forget to do these things, and it's a tactic for life. Also, I think it's Alexia that put it, but the chat's been popping off, so it's hard to keep an eye on it. But she said that we'd watch you paint a wall. That's how much they love this stream. So that's just really cheered me up. That is so fine to hear.
Give me an idea for a stream.
Yeah, or do a paint party on the bus.
Anna loves the idea of a pub crawl podcast. I think that's really fun. Literally a travelling pub. I mean, in Shepshed alone, it's a village near us. I know there's like 11 pubs just in that village. There is.
Wow.
When you've got things like the upper railway and the lower railway and they're running out of names.
Well, we've got the railway in one village and then the railway in the next village along at the other end of the track.
Confusing.
Yeah.
Poor taxi drivers.
I know.
Jake, yes, I got home and I was like, why is my alarm? I do that all the time. I randomly had one for 4:20 and I have no idea why, but it went off. And someone I was with was like, cringe. You set your alarm for a spliff. I was like, no.
That's what came first to my mind. Like, you need to find yourself.
I don't know what it was for. It was something like, I've got no idea, but it didn't have like a caption on it that said like, hook it up.
See, that's the problem when you set an alarm, you don't name it, and it goes off, and then you know for certain that you're forgetting something. but
supposed
what
to be
is it? Yeah.
something right now. Hope you're doing okay. I love this chat.
I know, I do.
Can we just stop talking and get in the chat? So it's I was gonna say it's summer solstice.
Yes, tomorrow it is. Oh my God, I'm so excited about this time of year.
So our little resident witch, what does that mean for us?
Well, to be honest, I was thinking about this earlier and I was like, oh my God, what does it mean for us? Because we spoke about spring, well, we spoke about winter and it's the time to rest and recuperate.
Right, yeah.
And then spring was the time to put those seeds into the ground and into motion. So summer, I suppose it's blooming. We are in the blooming festival because, we're not at harvest yet, so we're not reaping
Okay.
the work, like the rewards of our hard work. We're still in that, that intention period. So I think what you should be doing at this time is thinking about what intentions you have set for the year so far. How are they going? How can you alter them to make sure that you're still on track? And anything that you need to get rid of and park and change, because I think sometimes we get caught in this rut of, but this is my aim and this is my goal. And we've got to keep ploughing down that. But you've got to know. Remember when we were talking about working smart? We were talking about the podcast and what changes can we make and stuff like that. And it's like about making sure that you're not kind of spending energy on things that no longer align to you.
At one point, you set a plan, right? And then if you mindlessly just follow that plan without adapting the changes that happened, then you have to readdress, right? Reflect. I know reflect. I know in counselling every 6 weeks, I will go back over like this is the goal that we set. This is where we thought we'd be. This is where we're at. What do you want to do now? This is on you.
Well, this is the perfect time for doing that. And obviously we're honouring the sun because we're going to be at the height of summer. It'll be the longest day, the most light. So light those fires.
I feel like it sounds like all the bits before, like it was the rest, and then it was the setting, like sowing the seeds of like what's to come, and now it's bloom, but it's the visuals that other people can see. It's not just the inner work. It's like, okay, how can I show other people I am becoming the big flower that I can be? I'm the butterfly that I can be. Apparently, there's been a huge upcrawl in caterpillars this year, so there should be a load of butterflies.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that is cool. And also we've got fabulous full moon on Friday as well, which again, if you're into harnessing the lunar energy, is another fab time to the moon is full, so you're celebrating the things that have come to fruition and recognizing those, giving space to those and honoring them. So it's a really nice time, I think, for
I really like it.
Enjoying, because I think in life that there's so much all the time of, but what are you trying to achieve? But the here and now is all we've got.
Yeah.
So, although it's great to look to the future and plan and stuff like that, sometimes you got to stop and just dance.
Yeah.
For the here and now.
Oh God, I love that. Okay, so what is the full thing? What has come to bloom? What is full that you are celebrating this full moon?
Well, I started the year very much in my breath work. I tried breath work out, and in that I was releasing shame for like not standing up for who I am. Like you just said, resident witch. That witchiness has really come through these past few months. It's always been there, but prior to that, there was like this stigma attached of, oh, but you're a teacher, and you've got to be careful what you say because you can't act too weird. And I was still in a relationship, and it was kind of like, oh, but you're not a witch, really, are you? And yes, I am. And during the breathwork thing, I'd got in touch with like medium qualities and realizing that I've always felt surrounded by spirit and stuff like that, and really just I started like releasing all the shame and welcoming in those vibes kind of thing and trying to honor them. And I feel like this whole year has been about personal growth for me, like in spirit, like getting in touch with my spirituality.
A lot of the stuff you just mentioned is like inner work, right? It's the inner surface. So physically, like manifesting what is physically there for you now that these things have been done.
Well, I would say my physical health
Love it.
is definitely really like improved in terms of like there's no more alcohol, there's no more nicotine, there's no more smoking, I'm eating better, I'm exercising, I'm getting stronger.
Yes.
Plus there's the obvious, as in the big bus.
Exactly.
That I've been working really hard on. That was obviously always a dream, and then now there it is as a reality, and that's happening. And then even my socials are going mad at the minute. People are getting in touch and asking to collab, and all of that's growing. So I feel like everything is kind of aligning.
Yeah.
That bigger picture that was always on the horizon is here and now.
Yeah.
And that feels really cool.
And if you're wondering when that time will be for you, it's now too.
Yeah.
Your socials might not be popping off. You might not have bought a double-decker bus, but within your life, you're going to have these things that you've cultivated through this year. If you followed this podcast and you've been putting in the work, then it's definitely going to have happened. It's mine and Millie's 50th full moon together.
Oh,
so
yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's like full moon buddies. I love that.
Yeah, that is really cool to because this is the thing. I feel like our calendar that we use now is all out of sync. I feel like everything's out of sync. It's like every 28 days there's this cycle, and since I've been following those cycles, I am way more in sync than I've ever been. Do you see what I mean? Like, because as it gets, so when it's a new moon, you can't see the moon in the sky at all. That's the kind of rest, recharge, set your intentions. And then as the moon grows and gets bigger, bigger, bigger to full, that's like you're putting in the work, a little bit more work each time, taking those steps towards it, making sure that you're letting go of anything that's holding you back. And then when it gets to the full moon, you're like, ta-da, what have I achieved since the new moon, and then it starts getting smaller again. And that's when you start to recover again. So you can go back into like, slowing down a little bit and resting. I never rest. I really struggle to switch off. So by following that cycle, it really helped.
Yeah,
me feel like I was doing it for a reason.
Like the calendar generally that we follow is like your rest Saturday and Sunday, and it's like, well, not if I work Monday to Friday and then I've got my own business that I do. There is no Saturday and Sunday that's free. If you've got a bus that you're renovating, whatever you've got going in your life, very rarely do we have a Saturday and Sunday. And if you do try and spend them freely, the guilt that's on your mind because you've like, I've got this to do, I've got that to do, it's really hard to switch off. And sometimes I feel it's hard to start.
But even those turns of the year, obviously this year we've mentioned all of them. So I mean, even I'd say from October when we did the Halloween special, and there's those 8 turns of the year. So you've got your big solstices and then the ones in between, and we've mentioned each time, and that I've been following that as more of my cycle rather than it's new year, new me. We're still in the middle of winter. We should still be in our hibernation stage essentially, and nurturing ourselves and like re-energizing, ready for spring, and yet we're being told like to kind of set New Year's resolutions, and everything's just so out of sync for me. It just doesn't feel natural.
It's no wonder they don't stick, right?
You're not ready for it. Like, but then come February, March, as it starts to get closer to spring, that's when you start to wake up. And
I know what you mean. I don't really like making decisions in January either. Like I'm not cognitively or emotionally in the state that I am throughout the rest of the year generally. And I feel like the decisions I make then keep me in like a lower mood longer. Than if I was to just, rest during this time, come out of my cave around March. Do you know what I mean? And just be during those times.
But I think there's a lot. You don't have to be like witchy or spiritual to follow that moon cycle. It's there in the sky. It's like your natural clock. You've only got to look up to see what stage it's at.
Definitely. I'm trying to think the things that I've noticed that I've definitely been cultivating this year. The skill of skating.
Yeah, very cool.
I did hear, Kat, you skated all the way to
Ratby and back.
That's awesome. And I went down that path with you a little while ago, and there's so many like bits on the floor. I got a little bit down. I was like, peace and love, Cat, I'm turning back. I'm going to trip on all of these. And I could tell she was like, keep going.
Well, it was even at one point, there was a hill and she just went down it, and I was running, and I was like watching her just gain speed, and I was thinking, oh my god.
Yeah.
But then I remembered how fearless her kids are, and that they get that from somewhere. And I was like, wow, that fearless nature
I know exactly.
really plays into learning these skills, because she just went for it. I was like, what were you even thinking? Oh, that's the good thing. She wasn't thinking. She just went down the hill.
Exactly. She's like, this is a chronic sensory seeker here. That she said, "Did you hear about Stonehenge?" I worked that out in a second.
God, no, I did.
What happened?
Just Stop Oil protesters have blasted it with orange paint. No, and I thought it's one of those things where the intention, the Just Stop Oil, they want us to preserve the earth. They
Yeah.
do the weirdest things that antagonizes the whole nation. Like, nobody's going to be on your side after doing something like that. They're just going to think you're an idiot.
It's,
Do you know what I mean?
oh, 100%. You're going for the wrong things.
Like-
I mean, like, attacking the glass that goes around the Mona Lisa, I can kind of understand with the capitalism and how this, like, I can understand that. Stonehenge
Yeah, look, what's it ever done to
has
you?
been there since day. It's done nothing to you.
It's like they want to, I get it, they need to be in the news.
The people that are drilling, the people that are trying to get oil back into society, the people that are trying to ruin this, are ignoring climate change, all this sort of stuff, and raising your prices, have nothing to do with Stonehenge.
Yeah, they don't even care about the heritage of Stonehenge, and what secrets it might kind of hold.
Because a lot of the time, you've had me say again and again, I'm a socialist. I believe personally that protests should happen, and they're not always pretty, and that the reason they're not always pretty is because you didn't listen to them when they were just asking. This is mindless.
Yeah.
No one's thought about it. It's tactless. It doesn't make any sense. I'd rather you stick yourself to the road than do this.
I mean, yeah, even that, like when they were doing that in London, there was people like that couldn't get to the hospital that were, actually not making it because they couldn't like get their loved ones to the hospital and stuff like that. And you're impacting the wrong people.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but again, protests have to be disruptive to a certain level.
Yeah.
See, it sucks that it goes to,
I know.
the fault of that person, but that's where I say, hey, if you'd have listened to our first demands, then
Yeah,
we wouldn't have
exactly.
been stopping people in these. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, hold on, what's the
chat says, so relate, never rest. Of course you don't. You have 4 children. My skate today was in the time I have where I'm kid free.
Yeah, so she shared a video earlier, didn't she, of her skating around?
Yes!
The kids must have all been at school, nursery.
Oh, that for 2 hours was bliss. That sounds amazing. Are your legs not dying? And are you free to skate after? Both Kat and Anna, and anyone that's got skates, if you want to join us.
Your legs must be dying. Like, my legs today are in bits from going on that run Monday and then dancing last night. Morris dancing.
Oh, Melise has just reminded us, have we done our intro yet? Not sure if she's missed it. She hasn't missed it. You've just reminded me.
Yeah.
Let's play it now, and then we'll get into that moment at school that we will never forget.
Okay.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Why is it like this? The haters should be loved, being fighting. You don't agree, then you're the problem that we're fighting. Open up your mind, stand up, become righteous. Why is it like this? Instead of haters.
Okay, we're back.
We love that track so much, so we have got to try and remember to play it where we can, haven't we? Because it is such a bad boy track.
Will there be a point during these festivals where we can have it loud music playing behind it? As we just so obnoxious.
I can take my speaker. Got quite a decent loud one, haven't I?
Does it take batteries? Yeah.
Well, it's like I have to charge it up, yeah. So if it's charged up, it'll last.
See you there. So out for it. Your intro is so cute. I love it. You know what? It was like the first thing we had sorted.
Yeah.
And I was so like, okay, we're professional. Little did I know how much mics would suck.
And everything else would be so hard from that point onwards.
And the moral of the story is if you can get a professional, do it. I love the track use. It's so fun. Oh, I love these girls.
Yeah.
How do we hang out with you?
This is what we're doing tonight.
I love it.
Every night, every Wednesday.
So yeah, I had to bring this up as a subject just because it's exam time, right? A lot of you, and it's going to be throughout different course levels.
Yeah.
Up until
A lot of
end
mine
July.
are finished now, thankfully, all their exams are out of the way, but that's GCSEs and short courses. So
You remember finishing your GCSEs, and then it was like you got that, like, you can come in if you want.
yeah,
Like,
bye.
see ya. And it was just like, okay, this is being an adult now. This is fun. My last day of Rawlings, however, was not the end of the year. I was kicked out. And that was the day I realised there's no such thing as summer holidays now.
Yeah.
It just hit me. Like, what else am I going to do? And I was, oh my God, it was a traumatizing moment of my personal life. But that's not a moment that everyone at the school would remember. There is one that sticks out. Have you thought of any?
I've just thought of another one, yeah.
Okay. It's quite a quick one, and I won't say the name. I'll say her name's Gemma, because it was, but I won't say the last name.
Very
But
very subtle.
If you went to school with me, you'll definitely know this. So, you've seen the film Mean Girls?
No.
Of course you haven't. As soon as I looked at you, I thought, why did I ask her this? In the film Mean Girls, the popular girls have this thing called a burn book. And what it is there's a picture of every other girl in the school in there, and something's written about her, whether she got off with a teacher or she...
Is it true stuff or?
Yeah, it's true stuff. But it's, it's
Yeah.
teenage girls writing it in a book.
Mhm.
You leave it up to you whether you believe the stuff in it or not. I was gonna say spoiler alert. This is an old film, so it's not even possible.
I'm not planning on watching it.
Yeah, and anyone that dares say, "Hey, I've not seen that," that's your fault. You should have seen it by now. It's a cult classic. To try and mislead, when this book she tries to get her own back on one of these friends, so she puts herself in the book to make it look like it wasn't her.
Okay.
Writes like "fugly bitch," I think she says, and then posts it all the way around the school. One of the girls in my year thought it was cute to tell her friends she'd made a burn book. And her friends weren't quite just her friends, they told everyone.
Which teenage girls, it happens.
It's going to happen, right? Because if you're like, she's got a what? Well, I want to know if I'm in it. What does it say? That sort of thing. God. And it started getting out around in the morning. By lunchtime, she could not leave her classroom because the whole school was just after her.
Oh my God.
I want to know what's in this book. I want to see it right now. And I just remember being like, I wasn't exactly following the crowd. I just remember being off back, being like, what on earth? And just, I remember teacher walking with her, literally like with her arm around her trying to save her. And the whole school just crowding behind, like chasing her like she's some like evil politician.
Those moments, like a classic in schools, right?
I'll always remember it. And it was just, to this day, I'm like, what was in that book? Because none of us got to see it.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
It never even materialised.
Exactly.
All that trouble.
She just told her mates. But it's always like, if you've ever seen something in a film, you're like, I should do that. Don't.
Yeah, just don't. It's in a film for a reason.
Yeah. If something was really cute and you look at your partner like, why can't you do that? It's a film.
Yeah.
Partners generally don't think like that because they don't have script writers.
I always cringe when I read books where it's a female author, but they've got like a male character, and I'm like reading.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And I'm just like, this isn't how they think. They don't even think in this in this way, or women's brains are very emotional. Like men's brains are more logical.
Oh God, yeah.
And it's so bad.
When oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And actually, it makes me think of probably another film you've not seen, Twilight.
No, I've not seen that either. I have seen Cruel Intentions though, which was making me think there's some kind of like diary gets released at the end of that where she's written about everybody. I don't think it's quite a burn book, but there is a similar vibe to it at the end.
Oh yeah, that was a really weird film, right? Like the incest.
Just Ryan Phillippe there. That's
you into him? Oh right. Yes. Kat says it's so bad. It's happened in time for the summer solstice fest. Oh, of course, yeah.
Oh, that's why they've picked it. Of course, yeah, because tomorrow there will be a big festival there.
That does really suck. Well,
Yeah.
I think.
Well, 2024 will, forever be historical, won't it? 'Cause it'll be like the year that
Yeah.
Stonehenge was orange.
And in terms of your
I've just thought
if you're a
really bad
witch
joke.
or a pagan or anything like that, you've been persecuted for long enough. It's just a bit of orange paint. Like, make it your favourite colour, reclaim it.
I've got orange on the back of this shirt, but I was just thinking then, like, and this is coming from a proud witch, so please don't hate me, but I really want to hold up a sign that said, "You've been tangoed."
You've been tangoed. Wait, how worldwide is tango as a drink? I've just thought maybe like there's some people in America that are like, do we have tango?
And the "You've been tangoed" advert might even be too old for even our younger viewers that we've got watching tonight to even remember it. Didn't they have that big orange hand that they'd like slap somebody up with?
Oh my god.
And they were like, "You've been tangoed."
When I search tango, like, oh yeah, of course it's a dance, right?
What's this?
Show you, I've not done a react time yet, have we? Oh, it's right behind us. This
Oh, there we go.
is a
Yeah.
kind of tango.
Not that we're like being sponsored by them or anything. Yeah, there he is. You've been tangoed.
What is this image? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember this one.
I just remember.
What is he doing?
I just remember, like, well, I was thinking. I think I was talking to Lou about this the other day, funnily enough, saying that you probably just won't get away with it now because it was just weird, wasn't it?
I mean, it's not blackface, but it does make me uneasy for very strange reasons.
It's just,
What is
yeah, it's
this?
just strange.
What are all these images? I don't think I'm allowed to show that. Or that, probably.
I know, I don't know what's going on there.
So, yeah, for anyone that doesn't know what tango is, the spray bottle tango. There's a spray bottle tango. Do you remember this?
No, I don't know whether she's referencing what's happened at Stonehenge and Tango. I'm not sure.
No, there is actually.
Oh yeah, okay, like the spray sweets. See, I'm too old to know about these sweets. This is something that's like my sisters are into.
Is this what you mean? One of these, Emma? They look interesting.
Yeah.
Are they like really sour? Or is it just the. Because I remember having the brain lickers.
Yeah, vaguely.
It was like roll on deodorant, really sour sweet.
A push pop, that was always my favourite.
What was a push pop?
I bought one for my sister the other day. They're still around, but you can't push your finger up them anymore. They've got a spring in them.
Right, sounds more
spring up.
sanitary.
Yeah, because your finger would be like covered in goo.
Oh, okay. It's a lolly that comes out of the
Yeah, you
original
push it out
pack.
the top.
You know what? I always saw them, but I never got one.
Yeah.
Interesting. I love how they just show up behind us.
I know, it's cool, isn't it?
Oh, it was a drink that when you sprayed it, it was foamy.
Ew. That sounds horrible.
Oh. Whoa!
Whoa, I never ever saw that. That is just strange. Turbo Tango.
Turbo Tango.
I want to try one though. Look, nitro fueled.
I mean, I'm guessing that's what makes it sprayable, right?
It's strange.
Is that it? Yes, that one. Okay.
Was this in the UK, Anna? Only because she's like lived in other places in the world, didn't she? So it's like
It's definitely not available. Oh,
I do not remember seeing them at all ever. Maybe it's a Mandela moment, and they never existed in my universe. Because I would have had them in my life.
Oh, that's really interesting. I love that. Okay. I love anything nostalgic, to be honest. Anything that brings me back to.
You're gonna love the quiz that I've written for the. Then again, you might be too young for some of the questions. Written a quiz for the weekend. Sunday. Like, because obviously I've got 45 minutes to fill. And
Okay,
I
yeah.
can't stand there talking about buses for 45 minutes, so I'm going to do like a pub quiz on buses.
Yeah, I think this conversation. I thought someone was interviewing you.
No.
Oh, really? You're just
Yeah.
giving, you're
Yeah.
giving a live talk?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Awesome or terrifying.
I think that's wicked. But your school moment.
Well, I'd got this wrong and was thinking about all the times I've messed up as a teacher and said things, you know, in class that are kind of have come out innuendo or whatever.
I suppose that works, definitely.
Well, so I'll tell the one that I was thinking of earlier when I was having my weekly before the podcast shower. And that was, I was teaching sex ed to a group of mechanic students.
Okay, yeah.
So, you know, they're all like the year after GCSE, so 16, 17 years old. And we're doing contraception. And the actual like things to put the condoms on were lifelike. They weren't just like when we were young, it was like test tubes or whatever, like rubberized test tubes. But these were like quite lifelike. But anyway,
We went to
I'm
the
just
same
setting the
school,
scene.
didn't we?
Well, this was at Loughborough College when I was
okay.
teaching this.
So it wasn't. Oh, right, yeah. Okay, you were teaching.
Yeah.
You weren't a student.
I was
Okay, yeah.
teaching. So I've handed them all out. And I'm having like a right laugh with them all anyway, because not one of the other learning coaches wanted to do these lessons. They'd always just chuck me in like, oh, Lindzi can handle it. Lindzi don't mind. She's all right doing this stuff. But I just I'll just have a laugh with them. And I always remember this one student. He was called Kevin, and he was sat at the front. And they're all getting, you know, like everyone's a bit like pink cheeked and like sweaty and embarrassed or whatever. And then I'm like, right, I'm going to do a demonstration. And I'm going to use Kevin's because I've not got one. But I was talking about the prop. But you know, like, because I've not got one, it was like,
Wow.
I know. Like, they were howling. By then, we were all like howling. And it was great. It was great fun because I feel like they really engaged with the lesson. But poor Kevin.
I can imagine them telling the story to their parents when they
Yeah.
got home. Oh, we did sex ed. That was really embarrassing. Lindzi had to use mine.
Yeah, like,
Who's that? My teacher. Wait, what?
yeah, she put it on mine in front of the whole class. But yeah, like, but just talking about the burn book reminds me of, and I probably shouldn't bring attention to this in case anybody's watching that I went to school with and then they post it, but
Post it.
we're in our A-level years, one of the girls organised like a yearbook to be done, so we all had like a photo taken, and then by this time I disengaged with school. I think I'd done my A-level exams, but I didn't do very well on them. I'd I'd lost interest. I was working full-time as a waitress. I was earning. I was getting drunk down the park more often than I was going to my classes, and we like had like this final text or this final email saying you've got to log into this thing online to add your bio to your picture to go in the yearbook.
Okay.
So we've all turned up at school. Me, Hannah, Lauren, Charles. Shout out to you all because we had so much fun. And we logged in and we were just like, I think we might have even been drinking, but like off site, and then we've come on site and we just was like running riot with what we were writing. And then this book was like 25 quid, 30 odd quid, and that was a lot of money, you know, back then. So my grandma paid for it as a treat. And when this book was published and it came out and my mum read it, she just went up the wall. What were you thinking? Like, we can never show grandma this for a start. And she's paid for it. Like, these people are going to be reading this forever about you.
What did you write?
I'll show you, but it's like, it's awful. Like, I reread it and I'm like, oh, if there was any question as to whether I am ADHD, like, there was the proof that I'm just crazy, you know.
So the fact it made it in the book, I'm trying to work out.
No
Could
one
it really be that bad?
No one proofread it. Yeah, it was just like this questionnaire that you had to fill out, and it was like, what are you going to be known for when you're older, and if you was a famous person, who would you be, and stuff like that. And it was like, if you're a famous person, who'd you be? And I'd put Eminem, so I could make love to myself all day. But you know, just like it was just really like bad stuff. And it's like your favourite memory. And oh my God, the things we'd listed that we'd done like when we should have been in school, but we're off like getting piercings in places that I can't mention
Do you
on
know
live
what?
TV.
I do remember. I know that yours and Charles mentions each other. Right? I feel like I
all
have
of
seen them.
all of them all mention each other. So if you read Loz's, for example, you'd end up
That's
reading
it.
mine. If you read mine, you'd end up, because it was all mentioning each other. But the saving grace of this whole thing, because this is what I'm thinking, if any of you lot have got this book, you could turn to mine and read mine, and you'd just be like, why would you publish all of that stuff? But the nice thing was at the end, you could like put messages to each other, and I hadn't hardly got any, because like I said, I wasn't really engaging with school. It was just our little like crew that would just spend most of it down the park. We weren't like in the common room. We weren't those
No.
people. And they'd all got like pages and pages of like notes to each other and all the rest of it, and I got like about this much. But one of them was from this lad that had always stood up for whenever he was bullied, and he had like written in there like basically thanking me for it and just saying like he'd never forget me, and you know, like he was wishing me well in life. And I don't know, it just kind of made it like worth it that I was always that person that I hate seeing injustice. So
Oh, that's really sweet.
it was that.
I love that.
So it is the only saving grace of the whole book.
That reminds me of, because as a lot of graduations happening in America, there was a university or college or whatever that had everyone's picture that was graduating like up this long street. Like every so often on the grass and the trees next to it, there'd be new students, and people were writing like messages on the back to them.
Oh yeah.
And these kids were going around and writing messages for the people that didn't have messages,
Oh,
just so they weren't left out.
Got them.
That's so
really
sweet.
Nice. But yeah, so I kind of wrote a burn book about myself. I just sold all my secrets, and then it's kind of like I was genuinely, you know, I'm going to be famous, blah blah blah. So if that was really the plan, why I'd put all of that in the book, that then anybody could be like, oh, look what she did when she was 15. It's just beyond me.
I love it. I feel like there's people that wouldn't dare do that because they're worried of the repercussions.
The repercussions, yeah.
It's almost as if you're like, no, I'm meant for more. Get it out there.
Yeah, it's like it was an Eminem thing. I'll tell you all of the secrets that might come out, and then I'm starting on a clean slate.
Exactly. There is no surprises with it. I love that.
Can I just, before we move on to all the shout outs on the final bit, shout out my awesome t-shirt.
I love that design.
Let me just turn it around. I feel like it's the back that's more. Can you see it? Pull your hair up a little bit. Outside.
That is gorgeous.
It is lovely, isn't it?
I love the neo-traditional style.
Yeah. That's what I really like. So this is from Refuse to Conform, which we do now have a discount code for, which is really, really exciting because we can now offer you a 10% discount.
What's the discount code? I'll get it in the chat.
Lindzi ADHD.
Capital?
All capitals, yeah. So yeah, if you use that discount code, you get 10%. But this was a lucky dip. That's what I loved about it. So they do this thing where you can just hit lucky dip on the like t-shirt lucky dip or hoodie lucky dip, and you don't know what t-shirt you're gonna get.
I love that.
Yeah, that was, oh my god, the excitement of when it arrived, because I didn't know what t-shirt it was going to be, and all of their designs are so cool, as you can just tell from the name. Refuse to Conform. I mean,
yes. How much? What percentage do they get off?
10% with that. And the lucky dip things are cheaper than what you'd pay for the, you know, if you picked anyway, I think, because you're taking the risk.
How does it work?
And this other thing that I wanted to mention is they do weighted hoodies.
Ooh.
That was essentially how I kind of stumbled across this brand originally, because we were researching weighted hoodies for Kat's birthday.
Yes.
And a lot of them were weighted, but not very fashionable. But you know, like you couldn't get both,
exactly
like the style and the weighted. So they are all about. And I forgot to bring the little slip that you get with every order as well. But you get this little slip, and it's like it's okay to be sad, it's okay to not feel great, and it's like, I don't know, they're really mental health orientated. But they're weighted hoodies. They are expensive, but they are super heavy. They're oversized, like they've got big deep hoods, because they know that like if you're feeling anxious, you kind of want to disappear into your hood. Love it. So you're
gonna really high quality.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it was Refused to Conform, because I was looking at loads of different stuff today that uses vegan cotton as well, that's actually is it Petra?
Oh, I don't know.
The association that deals with animal cruelty and
PETA.
stuff. Yeah, that's it. It's that
PETA
verified.
certified.
Yeah, certified, that's the word. But yeah, so over the next few weeks you'll probably see me wearing loads of different refuse to conform clothing.
There you go. So you bought that.
Yeah, lucky dip.
That's wicked. That's really nice. One of my, I don't know, Jeffree Star, he does like mystery boxes.
Oh, I've got Jeffree Star makeup. I love it. Mhm.
Oh, that's wicked. What have you got?
The palette.
Which palette?
It's like bright pink, and then it's got loads of multicolours in it, but they've all got
I
really
love that.
funky names. Do you remember when I had that massive meltdown for the 12-hour stream and I'd got pure black makeup and I cried and cried and cried for about an hour
Right.
and then pulled it together, my makeup was fine? Jeffree Star.
Cheers, Jeffree.
Yeah, honestly, I like.
Of all you can say about Jeffree Star, a little bit problematic, but will always be king. Absolutely love him. Alexi is the same. I love Jeffree Star. I have his goth collection. That's so good. The like blacks and whites, right? They've got the
nice.
nudes. It's so nice. The nude one I've always really wanted. And there's an alien palette. Oh my god. You would love the alien palette.
I got my palette as a Secret Santa gift at Christmas.
Let's go. That's a really good Secret Santa gift.
Oh wow, that is very cool. I like that.
That is so
I mean the colours in the palette that I've got, it's a bright
huge.
pink palette and it's massive and it's got loads of bright colours in it.
Is it the Morphe one?
I have no idea. It looks like that many colours, but it's not that. Again, we're not sponsored by this. We're just that's the one.
That's wicked. I've got this one. The greens, like the iridescent greens here, over a eyeshadow.
Does anyone else just go for colours depending on what their names are as well? Like if I don't like the name, I'm like, nah, I ain't using that. Or like if I'm in a certain mood, I'll pick a colour because I'm in that mood.
Oh god, yeah. And if you know Jeffree Star, you'll know the names are like we've got. So the top here, welcome back to my channel, One Noise, which is what you'd start everything off with. Middle name Lynn, mogul, self-made, dog mom.
Yeah, dog mom, that's the one I remember. Speaking of animals though, look, we've got so many cat fans. Alexis just sent me an image of a cat
into the camera
coming up to the laptop. So my mum sent me an image the other week. Maybe that's what we could advertise ourselves as, like tame your cat with our voices.
If you want to know.
Got people relating to the just picking them by the name, lot. Don't feel quite so strange now.
Speaking of cats, I took mine for her microchipping to lawn out anyone. If you found when your cat's not got a microchip, that could be a £300 fine now.
Oh my gosh.
It's real scary. And I was like, she doesn't even go outside, but I'm not risking that because my other cat has just cost me £300 this month and I'm not about to have it happen again. Not for that, just for the accident that he got into. But I took her in the car and she loves it. Every time I've done it before, like she's kind of down in her carrier and she can't see, and I was like, I wonder if she can see out, will it make a difference?
Yeah.
So I put a load of pillows underneath the chair, then put her on top, and then put the seatbelt round in the front seat. And she was as happy as Larry. She's just like looking out. I put a bit of the cool air on her. She's like, yeah, I love it. I've got a video which I didn't manage to upload, but I'm literally filming it. You enjoying it? And she turns around, she's like, yeah. So I need to take her out more. I feel like that could be quite. I never really thought about it until Milena took Teddy out, and I'm like, wait, why have I never done that?
Yeah, Teddy's come to U Club before, hasn't
Yes. Yeah, sometimes the name really throws me off if it's not the vibe of the day. I fully get that. My cat really likes going in the rabbit run outside since he's an indoor.
That's a good idea.
He loves watching the birds from the rabbit. My cat loves. Do they do that like thing when they see the bird? My cat's obsessed with pigeons, and there's one that sits on the roof opposite every morning, and she just beeps at it.
It's just occurred to me now. Make sure you hit that like button. I just have to see it whenever it pops into my head. So if you're watching right now, hit the like button on this video. Let's get the video popping off on that algorithm.
Really helps. And one day remember to say it at the start.
Oh yeah. Well, I just think, well, whoever is watching the video,
You got to be a real one.
they're gonna, yeah, you're gonna see it at some point. But yeah, we definitely need to try and say it at the start.
God, yeah.
So we've got a few things to wrap up with, haven't we? Because we have got the fact that we're at VanLife Fest this weekend, and it is your last chance to get tickets to that. I think they're on sale until tomorrow. So your last opportunity to get tickets to VanLife Fest is tomorrow. It's up North Yorkshire, and you can get day tickets on the day. It's just that they're not subsidised. It's cheaper to get them in advance. And the weather's looking banging, so we are so excited about that. But we'll talk about it way more.
Yeah. £15 is an adult day ticket. If you're to get it in advance, it's 18 on the day. It's pretty cool.
And it's a really like cool, cute looking festival as well.
Obviously, concessions and that are available, but I think any day out that's getting you outside of the house is great. And there's going to be, obviously, Lindsay's talking about a bus, but there is going to be so many vehicles there that are just, they've been done out.
There's even
so
like,
cool.
There's a little like healing corner with like Reiki and yoga and all sorts. So I'm so excited about it because we are camping. We can't go on the Friday night as well. We're just there for the Saturday night, but
because we'll be at U Club and maybe you guys will be too. Heads coming.
Excellent. and then the other festival that we wanted to shout out is, we can't get the website up right now though, is Barefoot Festival. That is happening at the end of July. We're also going to be there, and if you comment in the video comments some kind of festival comment, then we'll send you a 15% off code. I think, is it in the description as well?
It's in the description.
Wicked. There you go.
But you know, just let us know. We're also interested. What's your favourite festival? What's one that you want to go to this year? What's one that you've never been able to go to? What's one that looks awful that you never want to go to? Let us know.
We're talking about festivals next week, aren't we? We're going to like do a kind of survival guide. If you've never been, what to expect, like what, you know, what hacks have you got for festivals?
Oh God, yeah, definitely. So get it in there and we can...
that group of tattoos is my festival theme tattoos, all my little teepees.
You have to put more TPs around.
Yeah, well, VanLife Fest. I've been to Barefoot before, so Barefoot's already represented, but VanLife Fest is a new one, so I don't know where I'm going to squeeze. I'm going to have to start up a whole new campsite on the railroad.
We got blue camp and red camp. True festival goer.
But yeah, Barefoot's not until July, so you've got a little bit of time to get your ticket, but it's going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, definitely. And the other one is Barefoot.
No, I've just said that.
Well, you've already said it.
Yeah, but Friday, we've got an extra special interview coming out.
We sure do. With the lovely... if you went to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival last year,
you may have
said all the words correctly.
Character flaw.
Yeah, she won an award. It explores the intersectionality between queerness and neurodivergence, and she was a real treat to talk to. Yeah, it was really good conversation. Like, I had to really hold in how much I wanted to be like, oh my God, I relate to everything you're saying. Like, this is her interview. You're very similar people. And I kind of got the vibe before when we spoke to Dora. If you remember, we spoke to Dora before her Camden show. She was travelling with her ADHD show. She was great to talk to, but again, very similar to you. Yeah. A very like out there go-getter, like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. Go for it. Yeah. So if you're wanting any tips on how to be more like Lindsay and a bit more like our lovely Pip that we got to talk to, then definitely tune in on Friday, where that'll be specially uploaded. And there's a chance to go and see her. Yes. With us. We've got tickets to give away. To the Edinburgh Film Festival. That's pretty cool. Yeah, right? Really cool. So if you want a chance to win that, tune in on Friday. We'll be back then with a lovely episode with Pip, and then normally next Wednesday to talk about those festivals we've been to this weekend. And then this week's special Patreon shout out is gonna go to Lee.
we've not mentioned as many males, I don't think. I feel like it's quite female orientated. So good. And to be fair, it's Men's Health Month as well, so it's really good to shout out a male. So thank you so much, Lee, for all of your support and being one of our dedicated Patreon supporters.
Thanks, Lee. We appreciate it. And thanks for the intro, if anyone's wondering.
Yeah.
That's the magnificent voice and
It
talent we
is.
have there. Maybe we can get him on the podcast.
I know.
I like that. Just put it in the chat right now, like, yes, we want Lee.
Yeah, create some hype and demand around it, and then we might be able to convince him, because despite being able to perform and do our track for us, he's quite a shy guy.
Like, you know, but why? Because you've got talent. And like, I understand, because, you're neurodivergent, but also why? Because you've got talent.
And again, it comes down to that thing, doesn't it, where it's like, if only people could kind of see themselves through other people's eyes and, like, give themselves the confidence that other people have in them.
Definitely. And it's already started. We've got it in the chat. We'd love to see him. Yeah, we want to see him. You've got fans here, Lee.
There we go.
Thanks, girls. We appreciate you.
And if you want to get your name shouted out, you can sponsor us, pledge to us on Patreon. Our page is A Different Human Design, and there's lots of different tiers from £1 a month all the way up to £25 a month. And we also do a monthly prize draw. So not only each week do we shout out a different Patreon, we pull a name from a hat every single month and dish out loads of goodies as well.
It's really fun over here. We have a good time.
And we certainly, it's growing, and it's like the more people we can get over onto the Patreon and pledge in, the more we can grow. So this year, when we go to the festivals, we've got like a roller banner, and the setup's going to look so much better than it ever has before, and that's been made possible by the pledges that people are making. So yeah, thank you so much.
I said to you last week, didn't I? Like, if you're ever worried like the sound quality isn't that good, that's just because we're broke and we haven't got enough to pay for the expensive professional stuff. But if you want to change that, if you want to help that, by just putting a couple of quid each, we could probably get some nice new mics. But that's not on you guys. That's on us.
Yeah, like guilt tripping everyone a little bit. Just please help us.
But we're really thankful for the support that you do give. Even if it's just tuning in here every Wednesday, it makes this time a lot more palatable, right? Having people that we can bounce off.
Yeah, just definitely.
Talking at each other. Alex, you don't care about the sound quality. I love that.
To be fair, I don't think the sound quality has been bad the last few weeks. I think it's been clearer than how it had got.
Yeah, still looking for some help. If anyone knows anything. But yeah, we're enjoying it.
And yeah, tune back in next week to see us with our England flag still.
Yeah, there's no way that we'd have been kicked out by then, is there?
No, because we're still in the qualifying stage, so we'll still have another game, I think. Maybe they won't play 2 games before then. Maybe they will.
Yeah, this Thursday one's coming right quite quick, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's us. It's an hour and 7 minutes.
Thank you for tuning in.
We really appreciate it, guys. All the details of joining the Patreon and supporting is below in the description, along with the places you can get all the tickets, blah, blah, blah. Lee, come on, Anna says. See you guys next stream. Really do love seeing you. Honestly, you guys make our day.
Aww.
Guys, you're
making our day. Yeah, for sure. Without a doubt, you are making our day.
And U Club is on Friday. If you'd like to come. I hate that sentence. It's such an innuendo. If you'd like to join us at U Club, give us a message and we can send you an invite.
Fabulous.
Well, this is Lindzi.
And this is Steph.
We're A Different Human Design.
And this is A Different Podcast. Good night.
Bye.
Why is it like this? Instead of hate, it should be love, we inviting. You don't agree, then you're the problem, now we're fighting. Open up your mind, stand up, become righteous. Why is it like this? Instead of hate, it should